It's only been 1 year since Skate 2 came out, yet here we are with Skate 3. The franchise was a breath of fresh air when it first hit the scene. It was a major change from the high-flying antics of the Tony Hawk series. It was much more of a realistic take on skateboarding with a nicely tuned, reimagined control scheme. For the third game, developer Blackbox has added brand new online modes, specifically focusing on team play. Is this enough to keep the formula fresh, or is this a quick cash-in on a popular franchise? Let's skate to it and find out. The first thing you'll notice about Skate 3 is that it looks an awful lot like Skate 2. This is not necessarily a bad thing because the game still looks good. Taking place in a new city called Port Carverton, the environments are both well designed and fun to play on. It still follows the same feel of the first two games, so you won't get crazy skate parks in the moon or anything like that. The frame rate does hitch sometimes and the camera is moving around and the physics can be a little wonky. Whereas the first problem doesn't really affect gameplay, one time the physics did cause me to get caught in a dumpster which then magically flew in front of me, forcing me to restart the challenge. Besides that, the other presentation stuff is well done. Both the soundtrack and sound effects are good. The interface to make, share, and download replays is slick, and it's fairly easy to build a custom skate park. Skate 3 gives you a lot more options to build your own park. If you're into that sort of stuff, there's a lot to love. Oh, and Jason Lee from My Name is Earl coaches you how to skate. How can you not like that?
You're gonna get good, and if you don't, I'm gonna break your board! Coach Frank.
The big new change to the game is the addition of team play. However, this isn't as much of a sweeping change as you might think. Throughout the career mode, you'll build a team of skaters to take on challenges with you. You can either attempt these challenges with your friends online, or computer-controlled players will help you out. The setup is pretty cool and almost every challenge in the game can be done with multiple people. Some of them require you to skate all at once, others you take turns, and others you compete against rival teams. Everyone who skates will reap the rewards of a completed challenge, so there's a lot of incentive to do things together. With that said, co-op doesn't completely change the feel of the game. You're just doing the same stuff with more people. But for now it feels like a solid online mode that could have been expanded upon with some truly fresh content. As for the game itself, things are largely the same from previous skates. Unlike the Tony Hawk series, moves are pulled off by flicking the thumbstick in different directions. You don't push face buttons to pull off tricks. I personally find it more intuitive and the controls still feel good. Skate 3 has more tricks in it, they look awesome, and the Hall of Meat is as painful as ever. I personally found some of the challenges to be really annoying and intentionally frustrating. I get that it's supposed to be a hardcore approach to skateboarding, but the trial and error of replaying challenges over and over again still drove me crazy. With that said, the developers put in new difficulty options. There's an easy mode that's more forgiving and a hardcore mode where your timing needs to be perfect. Skate 3 doesn't change the series, but it does refine it. Still, the fact remains that if you're looking for huge changes, you won't find any. People who just picked up Skate 2 a year ago may want to think twice before they spend another $60 on number 3. However, while it may not be revolutionary, it still is the most complete skate experience out there. For more info on the game, head over to IGN.com.